happy Ramadan, dear viewers, and welcome to a new episode of the Culture of Flavors.
Ramadan edition.
I'm your host, Dr. Mohammad Al-Qattan.
And I'm your co-host, Eman Marafie.
So, Iman, I have a question for you.
Yeah, sure.
How long do you use your phone daily?
Well, actually, a lot of time. A lot of my time, I use the phone.
So, what do you think about the social media?
Well, actually, the social media is very good, but it has merits and demerits. The merits are more than the demerits because you congratulate your family through the WhatsApp. You could, like, if you don't have time to call them or like to meet them, and you call your family who's living abroad or studying outside of Kuwait, and also you could do your work.
Exactly. I like this advantage to do my work. I do a lot of online meeting as well as it's a good way to socialize people. However, dear viewers, please minimize the use of the social media and try to enjoy the beautiful weather and the spirit of the holy month of Ramadan.
You're right.
So, Iman, who's going to be our guest today?
Today, we have a special guest from the United Kingdom. She's a chef.
All right.
And there are a lot of things we need to talk about, but we will talk about this later.
So, dear viewers, we have a short break and I'm going to continue. So, please don't go away.
The United Kingdom is one of the most diverse and beautiful countries that has charming effect on all its visitors to enjoy different aspects of this country, from the thrill of royalty, sports, gorgeous beaches, countrysides, and attractive city life. Today, Britain is home to one of the most diverse Muslim communities on earth. Muslims living across Britain come from a vast range of national and cultural backgrounds. The communities originate from all around the world, including South Asia, many Arab and African communities, as well as Muslims from Southeast Asia, the Balkans, and Turkey. The population also includes a significant number of British and European converts to Islam. In Britain, local open iftars, where Muslims break the day's fast, have taken place for decades with invitations to all, Muslims and non-Muslims alike, to join. Ramadan has always been an opportunity for Muslims to share their cultures with others and for others to learn about Muslims and Islam. During this month, Muslims all over the UK come together to share food and to celebrate community. Usually there would be a wide variety of desserts and savory dishes to be made and shared or served on iftar tables in the UK. Chana dal halwa infused with saffron, cloves and cardamom, a sweet made amongst Asian households using split baby chickpeas and scattered with nuts. Dates and walnuts loaf or cake is a classic treat that is easy and goes with tea or coffee for after iftar. These popular foods are just a few of the many delicious dishes that are enjoyed during Ramadan that represent the diversity of the Muslim British communities.
And we're back, dear viewers, after the break. Today we have a very distinguished guest, which is from the United Kingdom. Her name is Lucy Moore. Welcome. We are very happy to have you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the invite. I'm delighted to be here.
We are so glad to talk about the United Kingdom as well as to talk about yourself.
Yes. So, Lucy, can you tell us about yourself here, and your background, and what brought you here to Kuwait?
I'll start with what brought me here, which was I was actually invited to visit friends. So they told me, if you're free, come and visit. I came. I was meant to stay a week, and a week became 2 weeks. That became 1 month.
By Kuwaiti friend?
Actually, a British-Persian friend,
Okay.
but through her network and through her friends, I met a lot of Kuwaitis.
That's nice.
So aside from her, I then met lots of local friends. And I lived in Bahrain for 2 years before I then moved here permanently. And I'm going to be here 11 years in April.
Oh,
that's very nice. Hope you stay here forever.
Inshallah.
So I hear that you are a chef.
Yes, I am, but
All
I wasn't
right.
always a chef.
All right. Okay. What is your profession?
Background.
Yeah.
So when I first moved here, I was actually a copywriter. I then became an editor for a magazine. I loved the publication because it showed me all the different cultural aspects of Kuwait and also the Gulf. And I then went more into marketing. I then started moving more into just like food strategy, then into operations. But before I ever lived in the Middle East, I worked in kitchens from when I was 13 in the UK. So I started as a waitress and I learned how to be a barista. I was trained as a barista formally at 17.
Nice.
Loved it. I always loved being around food. So whatever I was doing, there was always an element of food in it, whether I was cooking at home or whether I was interviewing chefs, working on pop-ups with chefs. Like I got to have a very elaborate, exciting career. And about 2 years ago, I realized like, no, the kitchen is really where I love to be.
Yes.
Perfect.
That's my happy place. I can step in the kitchen and the hours just melt away. And especially when I'm feeling happy and joyful, I feel my food tastes even better. That's the secret ingredient. And so I started retraining myself. Not just in operations, but how to run a kitchen, how to develop recipes on a commercial level, because cooking at home is a little bit different.
Correct.
And so I started, I still consider myself that I'm in training, but I also think that until, like the rest of my life, I'll be learning more about food. I'm like a sponge. I soak it all up.
So which kind of a cuisine?
No, before that,
Uh-huh.
what inspired you to come here? Like I know that your friends invited you, but what made you like say
Staying more.
that I want to live in Kuwait?
Exactly.
Honestly, I think, and it's a feeling, like when I first visited Kuwait, I was like, oh, it feels so homey.
Nice.
Like I really felt that sense of being at home, having a community. I like that in Kuwait, it's very calm. There's a lot of family aspects,
Correct.
like you go out in the evening and you see parents out with their kids,
Correct.
like even up until late in the evening. So I really enjoyed that family aspect. I love the cultural side as well. I think I was very blessed that when I moved here, I joined Kuwait Writing Club. And that gave me such a creative outlet. And every week we would write poems and short stories and we'd meet. And I was one of the only non-Kuwaitis. The rest of the group was a really nice group of young Kuwaitis. And so I got to really share this kind of like creative side and saw like, okay, they're celebrating me, I'm celebrating them. And yeah, I think like as time passed, it just became home. And now I think like I have two homes. I have the place that I grew up, like the heritage that I come from, and then I discovered a new home. And I feel that wherever you live in the world, you can make the most of it. There's no such thing as somewhere bad to live. There's just having good intentions and wanting to actually integrate with the local
And how
culture.
to start?
Exactly. Yeah.
Actually, this is really good that you feel part of the community, and we're really glad to have you. So back to my question is, which kind of cuisine that you cook?
So I would say I do a mix of European and Arabic flavors. I think I really embrace the intense kind of flavors and spices and techniques of the Middle East. But then for my heritage, like I worked front of house, like I was a waitress for a Michelin star chef in the UK. And he specialized in contemporary British food. So for 5 years, I watched him make incredible dishes with amazing ingredients. Like fascinating techniques. I learned so much from him. So by the time I came to the Middle East and I started exploring like the flavors here, I was able to kind of like, okay, I can take this technique from the UK and I can add in the flavors here. And I think
That's
that kind
amazing.
of, yeah, very contemporary. Like I'd say like most of the dishes that my friends and I love are the ones that are more modern twists. But I think I really focus on intense flavors.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like pancakes with saffron and cardamom.
Yes, yeah. Like even there's a very classic British dish called apple crumble, and to me it's homey, it's nostalgic. It reminds me of where I come from, and I've started playing around with mixing in Arabic flavors, so like mixing sumac into the topping because it's like a biscuit topping. So mixing in like and adding that kind of like hint
Soury?
of Arabic flavor, yeah, like that sourness from the sumac. And then I want to start adding in different flavors like cardamom, which we do use in the UK, but I feel in the UK it's very light, it's very delicate.
Not as much as here.
Yeah, we're not as brave. You know, we're a little bit nervous of the spices, whereas I feel
consume a lot
here,
of those,
yeah, you know, like here you get that intenseness. So I think that's what I love doing. I I like creating things that don't really exist, taking ideas from there, taking them from here, mixing them together and finding that balance.
Oh, it's really.
So do you like the tea? Because I added lots of cardamom and saffron.
I do. I really noticed the saffron because it's one of my favorite flavors.
Yeah, it is mine too.
So, Lucy, where you are from the UK? Which part?
So I'm from the south.
Okay.
My family is all from Folkestone in Kent, but I was actually born in Hertfordshire, and we moved around. So I lived in Hertfordshire, Kent, Surrey, Berkshire, kind of 5 years in everywhere. Yeah.
Right. Oh, this is actually good that you've been living around, that you can get a lot of experience and exposed to a lot of people.
Did you have the chance to cook with Gordon Ramsay?
No, I didn't, but I think I'd like to.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd feel intimidated, but it would be an exciting opportunity.
I think that's so, yeah.
Yeah. So talking about cooking, my colleague Eman, in every episode she cook a dish for us. So let's see what Eman she has for us today.
Well, actually, today's dish is it's Lebanese inspired. So it's called ghazaliya.
All right.
It inspired the name because of the candy floss.
Okay.
Which is this kind of candy floss, not the one the usual cotton candy. So we will add 1 liter of milk here,
Okay.
and then we will need a cup of heavy cream, along with half a cup of flour. I haven't tried that before, but actually, when I tried it at home, it turned out so perfect, the same as the restaurant where we go to, because I love this sweet, this dessert. So then we will add also half a cup of, a quarter of cup of cornstarch and a quarter cup of sugar, and we will cook them until it's thick. Then we will add the rose water, and then we will add a little bit of vanilla, and that's it. Then we will pour it in whatever we want, what kind of dish you want, you can add it. And then after that, when it cools down for like about 4 hours, 5 hours, I already made caramel, soft caramel. You can do it at home. You can like buy it from the supermarket, whatever. And then if you have a little bit of Lotus biscuits, you can add on it. If you don't have, that's fine. You can add whatever you like.
Nice.
And that's our dish.
So have you tried the ghazaliya before?
No, I haven't. This is going to be my first time, and it sounds delicious.
All right.
You try it here, and then you compare it to the restaurant.
Perfect.
So dear viewers, let's have a break and we will be back. So please don't go away. So we're back, dear viewers, from the break with our esteemed guest, Lucy Moore, and talking about UK as well as her experience here in Kuwait. But before we go deep into that, let's see our colleague Eman, how is she doing with her dish, ghazaliya. So please, Eman.
So I added the 1 liter of milk, the cold milk. So while it's still cold, I will add the cornstarch and the flour with the sugar. Okay, and then I'll stir it all together. After we finish from that, I'll turn on the heat onto medium-high heat.
Okay, the heat should be low or medium?
Medium-high heat at first, then you can make it low.
Okay.
When it starts to thicken a little bit. Don't make it too much thick because it will become very solid after it cools down. And then we will add the flavorings.
All right.
Yeah. So shall I start?
Perfect. Go ahead. So, Lucy, I hear that you love saffron.
I do.
So tell me about this story.
So obviously growing up, like we still do have saffron in the UK, and coming to the Middle East, and especially having like Persian friends and then getting a big group of Kuwaiti friends, I saw it in many, many dishes.
Okay.
I think something that maybe people don't realize about chefs is just how obsessed we are with food. And aside from just, you know, cooking and making dishes, my favorite books to read are history books or knowledge books, like anything that will give me more information on food. I don't read recipe books. That's the one thing I tell my mom, like, don't buy me recipe books. I want to know about the ingredients. I want to know the science more so than anything.
You're right, so you can make your own book.
Exactly. Inshallah, one day.
Hopefully.
At some point.
Yep. So I started reading the history of spices, and I was particularly interested to read more and more about saffron. And I came to learn that saffron, and we're talking 400 or 500 years ago, one of the biggest trading points of saffron at that time was in the UK. And I was so surprised because I thought it came from the East and was moved into the West, and we use it, but it's not something that we have. So I started reading more because then the fascination was there. Like, how did the UK come to trade it? I found out that we actually grow saffron in the UK, and still until today, it still grows in the UK. And the plant that it grows from is something that I walked past thousands of times.
Really?
Because it grows in our streets.
Oh, okay.
But we no longer harvest it. Why? Because it's too expensive for us to do. But there's a town in Essex called Saffron Walden. And they still, until this day, paint the colours of the houses, the colour of saffron, the mustard colour, not the deep red colour. And that used to be the main hub of saffron in the UK. And they had such a rich trading history, but then it gradually went further and further east. And I thought, wow, and for me, that really brings together my heritage and where I am now. Because it ties them together in a way that there's so much more to the history of food than we realize. Like, food brings together people, it brings together cultures. And I think one of the things that I love the most is you can sit a group of people who've never met before around a table, bring them good food, and after 5-10 minutes, they're friends.
Exactly. This is a good thing.
Yeah.
This is what usually Eman do, that she actually prepare a good food for our team guests, and we become friends. Right?
Yes.
So talking about, since we are in the holy month of Ramadan, Lucy, so I would like to know, what is your experience living in Kuwait, especially in the holy month of Ramadan?
I love Ramadan. It's my favorite month of the year, and I've celebrated Ramadan or practiced fasting for the last 12 years.
MashaAllah.
10 years as a Muslim. So
MashaAllah.
So how did you become a Muslim? Tell us the story.
I just knew. I knew in my heart from even before I moved to Bahrain. I think even before the first time I visited Kuwait, which was 12 years ago, was my first visit. And I think I started to learn a lot more when I was at university. I had Muslim friends growing up, but at university I knew I believed in God, that faith was really strong. And I started asking some of my Muslim friends, like, what's this? Why do you do this? What's the explanation for this? And I just asked why?
Yeah.
You gather a lot of information.
Yeah, and they very patiently answered my questions. And then when I moved to Bahrain, the whys were still there. They never stopped. There was always that, okay, there's something more that I feel very connected to. And I started studying Islam when I was living in Bahrain. And I went to the place where I was studying one day, and one of the sisters said to me, have you ever thought about taking your Shahada? I was like, yeah. And she was like, do you want to take it? I was like, yeah. She was like, when? I was like, I don't know, I'm ready, but no one's asked me, and I don't quite know what to do. Is it something I do by myself or with people?
Exactly.
And she said, we can do it now if you like. I was like, yeah, I've been ready for a long time.
Yeah.
And then it's been a continual path of learning. I'm studying Arabic. I'd like to be able to read the Quran in Arabic one day. So inshallah, that will happen.
This is a goal.
Yeah, I think it's very challenging because I'm learning a new alphabet as well as a new language. And I've started now, I can read things. If I see a street sign, I'm like, oh, I know what that says in Arabic.
Good.
And then I'll check with the English, did I get it right?
Very good.
Most of the time, yes.
Yeah, it's what comes gradually.
Yeah.
So gradually, step by step.
Yeah, and I definitely feel it's something in my heart. It's hard to articulate, actually, because I feel like faith is such a personal thing. It's something that is inside. So even though, you know, like I feel normally I can express myself very well, but it's one subject I feel it's difficult to actually find the words to express, because it's really there.
What about the holy month of Ramadan? Why do you like it more than?
I feel like it's my chance to reflect.
Okay.
It's a chance to improve myself. I think when you remove...
It's a challenge, huh? When you fast from the sunrise to sunset,
definitely.
without any water, without any food, this is a challenge.
Yeah, and I feel that beyond just fasting from water and food, for me it's a chance to fast from many of our kind of day-to-day things that we enjoy. Personally, I stopped wearing makeup. I feel like that's something I do for myself, but when I'm fasting, I feel like, no, it's removing those superficial side of our life. Like I reduce the amount I listen to music.
So you feel pure.
Yeah. I feel it's my chance to reconnect with myself and my faith. It's a very interesting experience, because I think the closest, if I was explaining to someone who's not Muslim, it's like going on a retreat.
Correct.
It's like taking a break from your whole life.
Correct.
Relaxing, thinking about like, what do I want? What makes me happy?
Reset.
How can I become better? Yes.
Reset yourself.
Yeah.
And have you been to Umrah?
Not yet.
Hopefully
But I'm inshallah. Like I want to go, and inshallah it will happen.
Inshallah, you will get the chance to do that. Now let's see, Eman, how is she doing now?
I just turned on the heat now because it clotted a little bit with me.
Okay.
And then we will cook it until it thickens.
Okay. So what do you do usually in Ramadan? What does your schedule look like?
Very simple. I continue working as normal. Obviously, we have the reduced hours, but I feel when I'm not overloaded with food and water, I feel very productive. So
Good.
for me, it's a very productive month.
Okay. So without coffee, you're working fine.
Yeah.
All right.
Though I do 2 weeks before Ramadan, I start reducing my coffee intake just to balance.
Very
and
smart.
I try and avoid sugar during Ramadan. Like I'll have a little bit here and there, but I try and have more simple foods. So I eat very clean. I eat a lot of protein, a lot of nuts. I try not to, even when I'm breaking my fast, I try not to overindulge.
Good.
Because I feel
sometimes it's really hard to do that, but
yes, especially if I'm at like my friend's house and they have like all of the Kuwaiti dishes. Ooh, that's a lot of temptation right there. But I try and manage myself, like keep it simple. I follow my normal sleep routine, so I wake up for suhoor. I don't stay up all night. Like I try and keep a relatively...
and this will actually make it even harder, right? Because you're fasting from the sunrise to sunset the whole hour. So
and once I've had like suhoor and then like prayed fajr, like I don't really go back to sleep. Like I'm very much like, once I'm awake, I'm awake.
That's good.
So I try and sleep before suhoor. I wake up. That is the biggest challenge for me, is to have suhoor, to make sure I actually eat and drink enough that sustains me for the day.
You're right.
On the days when I'm like, oh no, I'm just going to have some water, no, I then by the time it's like iftar, then I really feel it.
I had eaten something.
So that's my biggest challenge actually, is actually making sure that I eat in a balanced way and make sure that I eat enough. I often find I actually under-eat in Ramadan.
What about like Ramadan here in Kuwait and in UK? Are there any differences?
I've actually never celebrated and followed Ramadan in the UK. I actually.
What about your friends there?
I have to bring up one memory because it's one of my favorite memories and really showed me, I think, the strength of someone who has faith. I was studying with one Muslim guy, and we were on the same sports team. And we had a practice, and we had women's team and men's team, but our practice time was the same time. And he arrived and he said, just so you know, I'm fasting. Ramadan started. We said, oh, okay. And he said, I'm fasting, I'm still going to do the practice. And it's like 2-3 hours. And he said, but just in case I feel faint, there's some water in my bag and a chocolate bar. So if I pass out, and we said, are you sure you are? And he was like, of course I'm sure.
Oh, poor guy.
I'm Muslim. Like I shouldn't cancel my life because I'm fasting. This is the challenge that God gives me. I have to live my life, but just in case, because he was very skinny. And this time it was summer, so the fasting hours, I think at that time maybe 18, 19 hours.
It would be really tough.
Yeah, so it was a very, very long fast for him. And I just watching him like continue his life and still give like 100% of his effort and with positive energy, I just, mashallah, I watched him, I was like, wow, like
Mashallah.
it was a very
Inspiring.
poignant, very poignant memory for
But did
me.
he faint or not?
No, he was fine. And we said to him at the end, like, "Are you okay?" He was like,
All right.
"Just 2 more hours and I get to eat." This is what I'm thinking of now.
This is very interesting. We still have more to talk about, but we have a break. So, dear viewers, let's go have a break and going to continue. So, please stay tuned.
And we're back, dear viewers, and it's already thickened, so I'm going to pour it here, the mahalbiya. So if you have like guests coming over or something, you can like just pour them in small glasses and then decorate them. But I already made one for our guests here, so today.
So we're not gonna eat all of that.
No.
Okay, cool. That's
because
good.
it's
That's good
very
news.
hot. So I'm gonna pour that here, and then you just let it cool until it's room temperature. Then you can cover it with a sling wrap, and then put it in the fridge, and that's it.
Perfect.
Yeah, and then after that, I will tell you what to do. So,
You have more details.
yes, I have more details. I already prepared one here.
Okay.
Ta-da!
Oh, this is, should be. This is gonna be the final look after this. We're gonna be cooling down.
Yes, but what they in the restaurant, what they do is that they change like they do like this.
Okay.
So
and what's
that
the reason behind that?
to mix the crust, the upper crust, with the inside, and then I'm going to add the
Probably.
candy floss.
Cool. So while Eman, she's preparing her dish and she's almost there, you just mentioned that when you go to your Kuwaiti friends, that you could see a lot of portion and a lot of variety of foods. I would like to know which food you like here in Kuwait as a cuisine.
So I definitely have my favorite dishes, mashboos.
Okay.
Like that's just like.
That you eat it with chicken, meat, or
What about the kaboot?
Oh yes, yeah. That's something I've only had at a few friends' houses. I've noticed it's not something every house does.
Okay.
But I think I'm quite blessed that my friends' families make amazing food.
Good.
So I've been very like kind of. I've tried to try everything.
Good.
I like trying everything,
Good.
even like Zabeidi when they have like the made, like the
Okay.
different fishes.
Cool.
I will try everything. I definitely.
That's good.
Yeah, Yeah, like that variety of variety is the spice of life.
Yes.
So makshbous is definitely one of the favorites, and I think because I've tried it with chicken, I've tried it with meat, I've even tried it with duck. I've really kind of had it in lots of different houses, and oh my gosh, I asked my friend to teach me how to make it.
Oh, that's
I was
nice.
like, I need to know how to make it so that if I'm back in the UK, I can make it for like
For your
my family.
Yes, and they try it.
Yeah.
What
And
about
even
the sweets?
so sweets, probably Katayev.
Okay.
That's definitely one of my favorites.
They're filled with what?
Probably when
Pakishta?
it's filled with cheese.
Okay.
Oh.
I like anything with cheese.
Okay.
Like cheese is just like sweet, savory.
Who
like,
doesn't love cheese?
right? And then what are my other favorite sweets? I think because my preference is salty dishes. So when it comes to sweets, probably like I'm trying to think of other ones because all of the savory dishes are coming to my mind. Like I love
What about
haris.
Gaymon?
Haris?
Yeah. Oh yeah, legemat.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
Once
something.
you pop, you never stop.
Yes, and I've tried to make it myself, and I failed miserably.
Okay.
I've yet to make it like properly myself.
It came out with 2 heads and 3 heads like that.
Yeah, it didn't look like legemat. it was, I think, something I need to try again. And I think because I followed the instructions, I got a box, and I think that's where I went wrong. I should have made it from scratch.
Exactly.
I followed the box, and I think maybe I didn't quite understand like the instructions it was giving.
Okay.
And then what else? Sorry, I mean, I like when you cook the lamb underground.
Okay.
Mendi.
Mendi, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
You know,
that's
actually, I
amazing.
haven't tried that before.
Oh, really?
Yes, I've
That's
always
good.
wanted to, but like I couldn't like find the place.
Yeah, I've had friends make it in their houses because it's something like I wish I could go and order, but I wouldn't know where to get it. And then I also, this might surprise you, I like camel.
Okay.
Like camel
Oh,
meats,
you have
like
tried it.
milk,
Yeah.
the meat. Like I've tried it in a couple of different
Before
ways.
yesterday, I tried the ostrich meat.
Oh, nice. What did you think?
It wasn't that nice.
No?
Yeah, that wasn't.
So what about Iman? You just prepare a camel meat Sunday for.
No, it takes a lot of time to cook.
Oh, that's a good.
Yeah.
What
Maybe
about
in the pressure cooker.
What,
Yes.
what about Mendi?
Mendi?
No Mendi.
I don't know how to do it.
Something for us to experiment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what
Maybe
about,
someday you could teach me.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Inshallah.
So other traditions, things in Ramadan, Ghabgar, Kirki'an. What do you think about these kind of?
I actually host an annual women's khabga.
Okay.
Yeah, so every year, I think because I have such an assortment of friends, I have women I know from work, I have women that I know socially, so I try and bring everyone together,
Perfect.
regardless of their age, their nationality, their belief. For me, it's an opportunity to bring all the women in my life together.
Right.
I've had khabgas where I've had like 40 women come, and every different type of person you can imagine, and what I love is everyone gets along, and for some of them it's the only time they see each other, so now they know every year they're going to see each other at my house.
In that, okay.
Yes, I go all out. I do a massive assortment of food, and actually I order everything because there's some things like I want to make sure I get the best version of, so I order from
Right.
lots of places. I do big food, and I make sure I have a lot of drinks.
All right.
So I have infused waters, I have chilled waters, I have juices, coffee, karak, everything.
Okay.
Because I think in Ramadan it's so important to hydrate.
And you told me before that you have a special drink that you make, right?
Yes, I do. It's something I developed recently, and it's a saffron drink.
Okay.
And I wanted to have something that was an alternative to coffee. So I took the saffron and I mixed it with white chocolate because I wanted to have something very delicate, that it's not overpowering the flavor of the saffron.
Correct.
Because cocoa itself has a little bit of a strong taste.
Yes.
So I chose the white chocolate. It's Persian saffron, and it's served in a very small mug because it's very heavy. And then on top, it's finished with a marshmallow cloud and just a single strand of saffron.
Wow.
So we just launched it in one of the cafes I work with, and alhamdulillah, everyone loves it so far.
Perfect. That's
Yeah.
good. We probably Imani should try that.
Yeah, I should.
Ayakum, I'd love
thank
to host you guys.
Thank you.
So before we go for a break, now I will decorate the mahalbiya with the candy floss. Okay, you just like cut them into small pieces.
And sometimes Iman comes with colors, right?
If it comes with color, that means it has flavorings. If
And
it's yellow, I think it's saffron.
Okay.
Yeah, and if it's pink, it's watermelon.
Okay.
But you make sure that you have the vanilla because it doesn't suit this one.
Okay.
So after we finish decorating it with the candy floss, what I'll do is that I'll pour a little bit of caramel on top of it. Just like that. And then we will put the lattice on.
Okay.
And then we will enjoy eating it.
We're going to try it.
The best part.
Yeah. See?
What about we take a break?
Sure.
So, dear viewers, we have a break and we'll be back. So, please stay tuned.
In preparation for the holy month of Ramadan, people will decorate their houses with colorful lanterns and lights, not only outside but also inside. They'll renew their tablecloths to match the theme that they have chosen for Ramadan, whether it would be replacing their tableware, buying new clothes, decorating the insides with amazing candles and lights and lanterns. They also would replenish their kitchen with buying fresh new spices to prep for that daily iftar and suhoor and make sure that the food is as yummy and delicious as it looks. They'll also buy new clothes to celebrate events such as Girgi'an, which is in the middle of Ramadan, and Ghabgat, which is a very late meal. And people will cook and spend and just enjoy each other's company during Ramadan. So hopefully you can feel the Ramadan vibe not only in your house, but when you go out and walk during that holy month.
And we're back, dear viewers. After I finished now, it's time for plating, like for distributing the sweets. So I hope you enjoy it.
All right, let me save this
you.
one for you. See, and
Thank you
this
so
should be
much.
for me. Okay, it
And
looks really
this is
delicious.
For the dear viewers,
This is the final look.
yes, the final look.
Looks really delicious, gonna be. So that's called ghazali.
Ghazaliya,
Okay,
because of the candy floss on top.
It looks
Okay.
beautiful. I'm
Thank
so
you.
excited to try this.
Hope you enjoy it. While you're trying and enjoying it, I have a question for you. Regarding Girgi'an, have you witnessed it?
Yeah, and I love it. It's so much
Did you
fun.
participate?
I have. I think for kids, like especially having them have something that's like special for them in Ramadan. I love the song that they sing when they go to the door. It's
Especially when they tell them your name and then
yeah. I think it's something fun. It gets them involved. It's also like it brings together neighbors as well. Like I feel sometimes like we're busy with our lives, we don't see each other, and it's that time where kids can actually go and say hi. You know, like it's nice to meet you, and we live next to people and we don't
Exactly.
interact that much. But actually,
Exactly.
neighbors are really important.
It
Yeah.
is, it
They're
is
part
really-
of our community.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. Time to try.
That's
Yeah.
right. I tried. It's really delicious.
Oh, thank you.
So thank you so much, Eman, for
You're very
as
welcome.
as usual, Eman. So this is something. Now, I usually say 10 of 10, but you have to see our singers.
Mashallah, it's beautiful.
Really?
I love the creaminess of the mahalbiya and the crunchiness of the lotus. I've never tried this before. I love trying new dishes,
Yes,
and
me
I'm
too.
so
That's good.
happy
That's
that
so
you
sweet.
made this for me. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
More than 10 out of 10.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
So
It's
happy.
beautiful. I'm going to
Thank
have
you.
some more.
Yeah, please.
Of course, you can take it all.
Do you have something similar to that in the UK?
I think the closest we have is the Italians have panna cotta. We also have a set custard. I think is probably the most similar, and I like the creaminess. Like I don't, and it's funny, I don't like ice cream, but I like set custards and set creams.
Yes.
Very cool.
So I like that kind of the mix of flavors. I love vanilla as well. Have you ever tried making it with like another flavor?
Actually not. What do you have in mind?
Oh, I was going to ask you the same question. If you could reimagine it, like what maybe
Like
other
in
flavors
Ramadan,
would
we
you have?
usually
With-
make it
with
without the
saffron.
candy floss. We put rose water instead of the orange blossom. But like sometimes we mix it all to like we put 2 layers. On the second layer, we put this dried apricot.
Ooh,
I think
nice.
it's called
Mishmash?
kamardin. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the dried one.
Yes.
Nice.
You melt it and then you pour it on top with a little bit of pistachio.
Amazing. Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you,
I'm
dear.
so honored to have joined you and tried your beautiful dessert today.
I'm very happy to have you actually, and
We are
I'm
so glad
very
to have
happy
you,
that
yeah.
you liked it.
Thank you.
We are so glad to have you. We have a really nice conversation with you, but unfortunately, we are reaching the end of this episode. So, dear viewers, we're going to see you in a different episode. Until then, be safe.
Bye bye.